Hey, this is Fear Dragon, and I am here with Jessica ZombieGrub Chernega. Stop. This is our first take of the interview, all right? This is definitely not the third take. How's it going?
It's good. Yeah, it's really good. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Thank you so much for asking. So, of course, we're here. This is actually the day before BlizzCon actually starts, so WCS and all that stuff hasn't happened. But ZombieGrub, you just flew in kind of from all the way over on the East Coast of the United States. What have you been up to lately?
Because we are doing serious mode now. Wait, is this serious or Mimi?
It's a little bit of both.
Oh, all right then. Okay. Well, honestly, I've been diversifying away from StarCraft a little bit. I recently moved into a new apartment and have upped my streaming hours, but then also, like, instead of streaming 5 or 6 hours straight of StarCraft 2, I stream a different game and StarCraft 2.
Gotcha. And I know you've been playing like a lot of Final Fantasy and stuff.
Yeah. Well, Final Fantasy 8 Remaster came out, so of course I had to play that. But currently, I'm playing Resident Evil, the original remaster. That was the way to put it. But anyways, and then I'll be playing Resident Evil 2 Remaster as well, because I actually never played those games, and it's October, so it's spoopy. And also, like, people always are like, your name's ZombieGrub, and it's like horror games. And I'm like, kind of. Like, I like zombie mythology in general, but I actually skipped those Resident Evil games. I was playing Final Fantasy.
It's never occurred to me, but yeah, you don't really do any zombie related things for the most part.
No, I just thought, like, zombie's a cool word, but I also just, like, enjoy general, like, oh, it's kind of cool, like, zombies. And then grub was a cool word, and that's literally how my name became what it is. But it means humans, so it worked out in a, I don't know, in a cooler way than anticipated. And now I blow everyone's mind when I say that's what it is. I still can't believe the amount of people who think I play Zerg, who think my name means a zombie larvae, and a couple of people still think that I'm gillyweed when they see me. That's kind of weird. Yeah.
You're not even blonde anymore.
Yeah, this was back when I was blonde, but everyone still uses my blonde photo for, like, all the talent announcements and stuff, and I'm like, but we also look nothing alike besides that. But okay.
Blonde girl must play Zerg.
Yeah. Or, just like girl talking must be Scarlet. Like, this is just going to plague me forever, man.
Yeah, well, I guess you'll run into that problem again if you, like, dye your hair red or something.
Well, there's no other redheads in StarCraft, are there? Or not in StarCraft, in eSports.
Well, I was thinking of Scarlet when she went through, like, that hair phase.
Yeah. But I also have to cut my hair.
Right. That's true. You could also just dip your hair in pasta sauce, which I do remember. You have a price. Yeah, I actually have a clip of you on Twitch where you confirmed that you would dip your hair in pasta sauce for $1,000 and then do a ladder stream where you titled it as Scarlet Streaming Ladder.
Yeah, that's true.
For $1,000.
Yeah.
That was the price that you thought was fair for that?
Yeah. You didn't say how long I had to stream for.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Well, cool. So I know that actually, because we are friends when we talk, or at least I think we're friends. I'm not going to give you the mic for that one. But I know that you actually have, like, a lot of other projects and stuff that you have planned, at least ideas for things. Or anything you do want to talk about or kind of want to consider talking about on camera?
Yeah, I'm kind of an open book, I guess. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but, I'm doing some new video series and trying to put a lot more work into, like, pre-made content to draw people, like, to Twitch, but that's a whole other discussion. And then I also really, like, I just like being in front of an audience and casting a game, whether it's a Twitch audience or a live audience, but especially a live audience. That's my favorite part of esports. So while StarCraft 2 is by far the best esport and RTS has the best pacing, my desire to cast at live events as much as possible and travel as much as possible might actually outweigh that. And, I'm probably going to start looking into doing other esport titles that I think are interesting. Not necessarily just selling out and being like, yep, Fortnite, hop on that bandwagon, but actually, like, titles that I think are cool.
Okay, so you don't think Fortnite is cool?
I don't. I literally never played it, and when I watch it, I don't understand why it's interesting. I like Battle Royale. I just don't think I like Fortnite.
Are there any games that you can think of that you kind of are feeling inclined toward? Or even genres?
Genres, yeah. Well, obviously, like, I guess the money makers are definitely shooters. Like, I don't think there's actually any argument.
All right, so ZombieGrub, tell me more about how you're not going to sell out.
Right? But like, well, I'm interested in like battle royales, like PUBG, and I really like Call of Duty Black Ops, but that didn't really last as an esport. I really like the Rainbow Six community and the way that it came up as an esport. I guess it's like changing now because it's one of those things where it is getting really popular. So it might not be what I remember like 2 years ago when I first like saw it and was like, oh shit, like what is this? Rocket League is just one of those. You can see why everyone would like it. The same reason why CS:GO seems to be the most popular esport, or at least the most approachable one, like whatever you want to debate. It's just so watchable. Even if I don't understand the strategies behind like the money system in CS:GO, which I don't, I can still understand that when shoot guy in head good. And that's what Rocket League does as well. And it would be a really cool different way of casting. Like that would be so much more like traditional sports casting with the pacing. It's literally soccer except with vehicles. Well, not literally, but it's very much like soccer with vehicles. So
Yeah, they have a really easy selling point of you can just sum up Rocket League. It's like, oh, you want to watch this? What is it? It's cars playing soccer. It's like, that already sounds interesting.
yeah, and the problem with a lot of esports is to define the goal is very difficult. This is something that we've talked with Blizzard about. This is something that a lot of people who are now thinking of esports when they're making video games and not just making a good video game are thinking about like, how do I boil this down so it's also simple to watch? Which I guess Overwatch missed the memo on that one. Yeah, Overwatch sucks to watch, guys.
Would you actually? I'm curious. Would you say that any what Blizzard games would you say are really simple to watch? Because I actually feel like StarCraft. If you try to boil down StarCraft, like I think that's actually kind of difficult.
That is the interesting thing. Like jokes aside about Overwatch, there's the simple to understand simple to understand the goal of the game, and then simple to watch. I think are actually two different things. So I don't think StarCraft 2 is necessarily simple to understand the game because someone's like, how do you win? You have to be all like, well, technically you got to kill every building. Why did that guy tap out? Well, he was dead. How did he know he was dead? Like it's hard to explain. Whereas at least in Overwatch, it's like, well, those guys took that point. Those guys pushed that thing. But to actually watch the game and how clear everything is, I think is still a strong suit for StarCraft. I know like I made fun of Overwatch there, but it is funny to think that back when League of Legends was released, that was actually one of the points that a lot of people in StarCraft made was that League of Legends wasn't watchable. There was too many things happening at once. So how is it ever going to be a good esport? And well, I mean, I guess look what happened. It's still one of the biggest ones. But I do think that StarCraft 2 is very watchable. Hearthstone's very watchable. I guess Overwatch might be the easiest to understand the goal, if I'm thinking correctly. World of Warcraft's impossible to watch. Like, no. Hearthstone, you get the idea, but card games is just like an esport is just like very out there.
And you just have to read so much text when you're watching like a card game. If you don't know what the cards are, then you're just like, everything on the board disappeared. Why?
Yeah, it almost sounds like a setup for a joke, right? You gotta read so much, but it's absolutely true. And if the card disappears for you read it, you're like, what happened? And then what else am I forgetting? I know I'm forgetting. Oh, Dal doesn't have an esport. Yeah, then Overwatch and StarCraft, right? Oh, Heroes. That's what that. Oh, whoops.
Shh. We can edit this part out.
No, but Heroes was also, I guess, the same problem as League of Legends, but it actually was overall fairly watchable. You kind of understand the whole, like, if the big thing's coming at you, it must be like a really strong thing. But anyways, Overwatch might have the best goals in mind, but there's nothing as simple as Rocket League where you really are just like, it is hitting the ball into the goal. And that's what you have to pay attention to. I don't think there's any other esport that's as simple as that. Because, again, even CSGO, more headshots you get, the better. But that's actually not even really the main part of the game. Like, There's so much more strategy that goes into that. So that's why Rocket League's probably becoming one of the biggest esports. Like, whenever we go to DreamHacks or something like that, they draw in the casual fans. They draw in the people who are like, I don't know what any of this is. I brought my kid here. But look at that. It's a ball, and it's getting shot into a hoop. No, a net. like that's really easy to understand and really hype, and you can't help but be drawn into that hype as well, even if you are a StarCraft cast and you're like, oh, it's not very complicated, is it? No, it's still really fun to watch.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing whatever kind of games you decide to dive into, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know that we're so busy sitting here with so many things to do, but to close things out, I always want to give people two options, all right? Because obviously you got to do your shout outs, so that's like a mandatory thing. But you can either do a call out or you can tell someone or everyone a fact that 95% of people don't know about you. You can do your shout outs while you think about which one you want to do.
Well, I can't speak and think. I mean, that's impossible.
Aren't you literally a commentator? Isn't this literally what you do for a living?
Honestly, when I commentate, I just kind of hope that my instincts are good. Like when I commentate and I actually say something somewhat clever, I'm like, wow, where did that come from?
There was this great moment from the Tasteless podcast where he was actually talking about this, where he was talking to Wolf, actually, and he was saying like, yeah, what was it? He was talking about how he was trying to talk about or commentate other games or something, or no, he was talking about basically a situation where he didn't have the production tab. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was. Maybe it was going back to Brood War casting or something, and he was saying like, yeah, like I don't have the production tab, so I can't just like when I don't know what to say, just start reading things off to fill time. Yeah.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, it is not actually, I feel, sometimes a lot of thinking. It's all the prep work that goes into it, right? And then you just hope that the prep work carries you through actual, chemistry with your co-caster and all that. But anyways, back to the ending of the video. Follow me on Twitter at CGGaming, YouTube ZombieGrub, Twitch ZombieGrub, Instagram ZombieGrub_SC, and I have a website now, which is ZombieGrub.com.
In case you don't want to remember all of the 4 different usernames that she has across platforms.
That's 3, okay?
ZombieGrub_ for Instagram, ZombieGrub on Twitter,
and Twitch.
And Twitch. That's true. ZG Gaming on Twitter.
Wait, why did you get 4? That's 3.
Anyways, call out or interesting fact.
Ah, man, I you never remember the interesting things about yourself when people do this, and then later on you're like, oh, I'm actually really interesting. Am I interesting? I don't know.
So you can just do a call out.
I guess that's what I'm going to do. What is a call out, though? Like, actually.
Call out. Okay, so it can be like somewhat friendly, but it could also be absolutely savage. You could call out someone. And basically, it's like if you shout out if it's a shout out, it's like a positive, like, hey, right, shout out to my homeboys or something. But if it's a call out, you're like, hey, I'm coming for you.
God, I mean, I don't even. Hold on. Let me think here. Let me think.
Like you could do like call out to Zerg Girl because I'm the only like ZG player in the StarCraft scene or something. I don't know.
Who would ever call out Zerg Girl? She's super nice. Why would you even do that?
No, I wouldn't call her out, but like I don't know. She's really fun to make fun of. She like really likes keycaps, and it's like pretty easy to make fun of.
Whoa, okay. Someone's calling out for me. Like you. Yeah. Let's see here. You know what, Fear Dragon, I'm calling you out. All right, drinking game, Saturday, after party, and you are not going to win.
Are we filming this? Like, what's going? Oh my God. Well, I just want you to know that if you go back to history of drinking games that we've played. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's taking exactly one other person down with me. So I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm calling you out. Let's see what's going to happen.
All right. This is going down. This may or may not be filmed. Probably on ZombieGrub's channel if it goes up. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.